by people who say it's slut shaming or it's not relevant. It is relevant when a young candidate tries to sleep her way into politics and into power. And that is what it appears Kamala Harris did when she was a young political aspirant in San Francisco, when she had an affair with a man 30 years older than she was. She was 29 to 30 and he was 60, Willie Brown, who was like the guy.
Hold on one second there. You telling me a man named Willie Brown, and Kamala Harris was going at it? So Kamala Harris was getting her muffins clapped, was getting her salad tossed. Wow, that's something new by a man named Willie Brown. Sound like a pimp name, but hey.
Godfather of San Francisco politics and very well known. And sure enough, that relationship paid dividends for her in more ways than one.
That's right, Megyn. As you noted yesterday, it's completely fair game to talk about Willie Brown. It's how Kamala Harris went from a relatively unknown Alameda County prosecutor to the forefront of San Francisco social life and politics. Willie Brown was the most powerful politician in California when Kamala Harris started dating him. And he also gave her a number of positions. We're talking about $400,000 back in
Willie Brown was pussy whipped. You heard that? As soon as Kamala Harris threw it back for a real one, Willie D was like, oh man, he was hypnotized. He was like, oh man, let me just give her whatever she want. Willie D was pussy whipped. And I don't know what Kamala got packaged in there, but she had Willie Brown sprung. You could believe that.
In the 1990s, that's almost $800,000 in today's money. He appointed her to those positions that paid her lucratively. He gave her the keys to a BMW, and he went around the most powerful and most wealthy circles of San Francisco and California politics with Kamala Harris on his arm, opening up the doors to her professional and
damn, Willie Brown was the poom poom was that good that you throwing BMWs to her, giving her some power. Damn, Kamala Harris, I got to see for myself what Willie Brown talking about. Golly,
political future.
So it was back when, again, she was 30 years old. He was, at the time, Democratic Speaker of the California State Assembly, quoting here from a Washington Examiner piece, which is very good. The position that he gave her on the California Medical Assistance Commission in 1994 paid at that time over $70,000 a year, which is about $120,000 in current money. And she served on the board until 1998, so about 4 years. That medical commission met twice a month. So for 2 meetings a month, she was getting the equivalent of $120,000. And you know why Democrats in San Francisco were mad about it? It wasn't because she wasn't qualified, which she wasn't. It was because those positions are supposed to be saved for only the most prized Democrats who Willie Brown really owed favors to, who did really, amazing things to keep Willie Brown in power. But instead, he gave one to his lover. He was, by the way, still married, though he was reportedly estranged from his wife for a long time. This was technically an extramarital relationship. And they were mad that he gave one of his choice grifting positions, not to somebody who'd done a lot for Democratic politicians, but to Kamala Harris. And not just that, there was another one. He gave her a second position as well, which was basically the same kind of deal, where he just gave her an appointment. She reeked in tons of money, and boom, Bob's your uncle. She was off to the races in Dem politics. And then Willie Brown is on record as saying, I also then helped her with her next big position, which was becoming San Francisco DA.
Right. When she ran for district attorney, they had broken up. Willie Brown, as soon as he ran and won the San Francisco mayor election, he broke up with Kamala. And then, Kamala was there for the victory party. But by the time the inauguration hit, his estranged wife reappeared to be holding the Bible while he took the oath of office. And Kamala was kind of pushed aside.
What type of love and hip hop story do we have here? Nah, Kamala Harris busting it open for a real one to rise into power. What is going on here? I keep telling y'all couldn't hit me. Y'all couldn't convince me. Y'all couldn't do nothing, nada, to make me vote for Kamala Harris. No, we ain't going down like that in history. Spook is not going down like that. We can't have someone in power getting a muffins clap up and down in circles, getting tossed up around like that, rising into power like, No, we need a candidate that can stand 10 toes down on this country and revive America again. That's what we need. We need to bring back Christianity back. Yeah, because morality has been lost. Yes, we need to bring back, common sense. Our common sense has been lost. Damn, we need to make America wise again. Yes.
But Willie Brown didn't forget her. When Kamala decided to run for district attorney of San Francisco, he was there quietly nudging all of his wealthy donors and powerful connections to help her out. Him and Terrence Holland, the existing district attorney, were not friends anymore. They had kind of had an ugly clash.
By the way, this is not liquor. This is sparkling blush apple juice. All right, y'all see that? I drink this 24/7. Some sparkling apple juice. Now let's get back to the show.
And Kamala Harris likewise tried to overthrow Holland's second in command, but failed miserably, and so she ended up leaving the office to kind of plot her revenge. So Willie Brown was definitely there behind the scenes, but Kamala Harris did as much as she could before the election to distance herself from Willie Brown. At one point, doing a very long interview with San Francisco magazine, throwing him under the bus entirely, saying, Willie Brown's career is over. He's done. Hello. My turn is...
Damn. After Willie Brown put Kamala on the top, Kamala said, you know what? Willie Brown, you bringing me down now. Now I'm going to have to vanquish you. I'm going to have to ragdoll your ass and assassinate your character. Nah, Kamala Harris, she playing a dirty game. Kamala Harris is playing a dirty game. That's what I call a street trifling action right there.
Here, it's Kamala Harris. Sounds really familiar, Megyn, compared to what just happened last weekend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole Democratic Party is going to be stepping all over Joe Biden momentarily. He's going to get his weekend in the sun about what a lion he is. And then as soon as they realize that they can blame everything on him and take it off of Kamala, that's what they're going to do. Every inflation number you've seen, it's all his fault. She didn't touch it. She was just a lowly vice president. What was she supposed to do? But talk to me a little bit about her background, because she rose in San Francisco and then California, right, as the attorney general, and then became a U.S. senator from California. All she's had to do is compete, for the most part, I know there's some exceptions, against other liberals, right? Like, has she ever had to compete against a bull, like Donald Trump, like the silverback gorilla, like Donald Trump, Republican versus Dem? It's on. I realized that she ran as the vice president, but she wasn't the chief. That was really Joe Biden's fight.
Well, the interesting race is when she ran against Steve Cooley for the attorney general position in 2010. Cooley was a relatively sensible law and order Republican from Los Angeles, and really the last meaningful Republican in California politics. And even it was a big year for Democrats. They won by double digits for California Democrats. But Kamala Harris really struggled against Steve Cooley and barely edged out a victory. It looked like the night of the election that she had lost. And lo and behold, weeks later, they did recounts and recounted all the rest of the votes, and she just barely squeaked off a victory. It was really close, and you can definitely look at that campaign and see that maybe she will be competitive in this race against Donald Trump as well. But it's hard to see that happening.
Some are now trying to excuse her awkwardness, repeated and everywhere, as she lost her footing as vice president and didn't have the confidence required to really be herself, which I guess is this secret version of charming. Is there anything in her past that would shed light on what's true about her? Has she always been awkward like this, with the weird laughing and the inappropriate jokes and the every time the failed attempts at profundity?
Yeah, a lot of it's the product of being a California politician, right? When you're a California Democrat, all you have to do is impress the donors, impress the political.
When I heard him say a California Democrat, we already know they some cuckoos for Cocoa Puffs. They minds is gone. I don't know what they got, what they spraying in that California sky, or what they eating, or what liquid is getting down their body. But it's making those people in California cuckoo. I mean, think about it. They put a man like Gavin Newsom in office as the governor. And this man is lunatic. Nah, can't trust them Dems. Them Dems, like I said, them Dems gotta go. Put in someone that's gonna stand on business, take this country forward, take care of America, take care of the citizens of America, and put this country back on the pedestal where we belong.
Power brokers and kind of show up and demand a seat at the table. Willie Brown taught her how to do that. So she did have some level of that with the top donors, but she never really connected with the California people. But as we've shown earlier, you don't necessarily need to convince voters. You just need to convince the Democratic Party, and everything will fall in line for you pretty well. So
Boy,
what's
that pattern
interesting
repeated
about
itself. Sorry, keep going, Charlie.
Yeah, and so
basically he's saying we don't care about the American people. We don't care about their votes. We just care about if the Dems, if the Dems, the representatives of the Democratic parties like me, oh yeah, I won this election. What he meant by that, man? What he meant by that?
So the same thing happened when she ran for Senate. She's a very good candidate. She's very disciplined. She loves the sort of the knife fighting and the brawling. She's on the record saying she loves California politics because it's a real fight. So she is a sort of a ruthless politician, a ruthless campaigner. But after taking office, there's definitely a drop down. Once you actually have to do the job, she never seemed to take it seriously and spent more time planning for her next job. That's kind of what we saw in the first 3 years of her vice presidency. She really was risk averse, didn't seem to be interested in the job she had,
Facts.
but more interested in protecting her own political brand for the future. And I think when a politician hits that stage, the early stage of actually having to do the job, I think that's when they tend to lose their footing and stuff.
Hey, to end this short, we not putting no amateur in power. No, America ain't gonna do that. We can't put no amateur in power. We can't do that. Kamala Harris, that's a no-go. It's a no-go for Spook. That's definitely a no-go. I mean, think about it. She just had a 50 Shades of Grey story. Y'all didn't hear? She slept with the man in power that had all the power, that had all the political influence, and got a muffin tossed up and threw it back for a real one. Nah, that's straight amateur ranks right there. We can't have that in America. Oh, we can't. Spook is going. You know what? Spook is out. Y'all have a blessed night, a good night, and stay tuned for the next episode.